Welcome into Kitchen Talk Pickleball Edition. I'm your host, Caitlin Miller, and this week joining us is 15-year-old Volly Johnson, an aspiring pro, and a unique story, actually. Volly and I met at the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships in Naples, Florida, with also Annalie Waters and her family, because you guys were the two three-generation families, right, at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, we were. That was an incredible tournament. One of my favorites, actually.
It is my favorite event of the year. I love doing it. And so, I mean, this was like halfway through the week. You guys already racked up so many medals. You were there with your mom, grandma, I think aunt. So tell me a little bit about, I mean, who joined you on that trip and why was that so special for your family?
I mean, my grandma's the one who started this whole pickleball thing. She got my mom into it, and then my mom got my aunt into it, and then I got into it. And it was just so amazing. I watched my grandma compete at 75 or 70 plus in 3-5, and she ended up getting gold, and she got silver in doubles in women's, and it was just so inspiring to watch her play. My aunt had like this incredible battle for the gold medal match, and she ended up getting gold. And
Wow.
my mom got three gold medals at all 5-0 levels in mixed and women's, and it was just so incredible to watch all of them succeed.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
Volley, which events did you do at the US Open?
I did, I think it was 19 to 29 for mixed, and we had a great battle for the bronze medal match, but just lost it in the third set. And it was so fun. I ended up doing 4-5 for women's,
Huh.
and we had a lot of good games, but we didn't medal, but it was still a lot of fun. And I did my first time playing singles, it was 3-5, and I got bronze, and it was so fun.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And so you did, wow, 19 to 29. You're only 15 years old and mixed.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be intimidating because the guys are big. They dominate a lot of the court. Was that fun? A little like, I mean, obviously you guys did well.
Yeah, it was so fun. I mean, I love being out. I mean, I'm always playing on the courts with adults, so it's kind of what I'm used to, but yeah, it was so fun.
And so you're my youngest guest on the podcast. I love seeing, young, teenagers like yourself embrace this sport. And I know you said you're on your high school tennis team. So as like a teenager, do you see a lot of high schoolers starting to play pickleball, or do you think it's still a little new to them?
I mean, I only know about like a handful of pickleball or juniors my age that play pickleball where I live, and some of them are my really close friends too, but I don't know anyone at my high school currently that's like really into pickleball at least. But our tennis team loves to go and like play little tournaments before the season starts, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so how does that work? I know you're an aspiring pickleball pro, and you obviously still play for the tennis team. So do you travel for pickleball kind of on the off season, or I guess how do you balance all of that?
Yeah, so starting last year around December of my freshman year, I switched to online school. So that just gave me so much more freedom to go and chill with my mom for like an hour, 2 hours every day at Lifetimes near my house. Then I could just do schoolwork from there. And it allowed me to travel to the US Open or to APP Punta Gorda, and it's just been so much fun.
Wow. And yeah, that's the great thing, right? Your mom is also a coach too, right? A pickleball coach obviously plays at a high level. So is that who you practice with a lot?
Yeah, she's my drilling partner, my coach. She's like my partner for tournaments. Yeah, it's so fun to share the court with her.
Isn't that cool? I mean, it's like what other sport could you and your mom, compete at a high level? It's very few, maybe golf I can think of, but has that been a cool experience to do with your mom? Has it made you guys a lot closer too?
It has made us so much closer. I mean, tennis brought us together too, but now we get to like travel and like we're competing together. And yeah, it's so fun to like compete with her and she's right there by my side, like helping me through it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what is it? I mean, I don't talk to a lot of, younger people like yourself, especially trying to be a pro. So, I mean, is it hard to like kind of navigate that path? Or, I mean, how are you going about like what's your training schedule? How often are you traveling? How are you trying to make it work?
Yeah, so my mom and I, we kind of, when I started online school, we've been like going for maybe like an hour, hour and a half every day. We've been drilling at like the Lifetimes in the winter by our house. Um, we've really gotten like into weightliftings and like training together. I think I was watching some of your videos and I'm starting to read the Pickleball Mindset book and I think you interviewed
Yes.
was it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've like loved
Dane.
that book. Yeah,
Y-
Dane.
y-
Yeah. Yeah.
Gingrich. Yeah, no, they're amazing. And just seeing like from the side of like the pickleball coach and then also the player and just how mental the game is, I feel like it's just such a mental game. And you can also gain momentum so quickly, but you can also lose it so quickly because it's like those 11 points go by so quickly. So, yeah, I mean, it's like you could be in the best shape ever, but if your mental game isn't strong, then you can fall apart so easily.
Yeah, like just learning how that's like as as important as the physical part of the game is like so eye-opening. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really I'm like really excited to try and like put it into my game and
Yeah,
just
no,
practice.
it's so I mean, and that's what like I also spoke with a doctor who was on like 2 weeks ago and he was actually dedicated. It's an app called Aim 7 where it's like all about mindfulness and like mental like strength training. And he was even saying how the Olympians like will do training in like a blank room where they just like train their minds to think about everything they're doing so that they can stay focused for a lot longer. And it's just it's
That's so
crazy to
cool.
see like yeah, just how important that is. And I'm sure like the more you travel because I think that's the thing like there was a period of time it was we made sure we played one tournament before the US Open because it had been a while since I competed, my partner competed, and you forget what it's like to get all those
Yeah.
nerves. So I'm sure like the more you've competed, has it become a little easier to calm the nerves?
Yeah, like for sure my first tournament I played with my grandma and I just remember feeling so tight and like I need to do well and I mean it's definitely gotten easier, but I still feel those nerves,
I
especially.
know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, same. And so I guess do you play PPAs, APPs? Do you kind of mix it up? Or I guess what's your travel schedule look like?
Yeah, so I've like just started to travel for tournaments recently and I really want to start to like go and like make more connections and I really want to play APPs and my goal is to get into the next gen. I
Yeah.
think they use that sort of rating to get into the next gen and that's like my goal for the next year. So I'm hoping to play more APPs this
Yeah.
winter.
No, that would be great. And so you play with your mom, you said women's doubles. Do you also play mixed as well?
Yes, I do play mixed. I really love mixed. I like to
Yeah.
play my right side because I get my drops and my forehands. That's my favorite side.
Me too. Me too. That's so funny. Yeah, no, it's such a different game too, playing like
Yes.
women's doubles versus mixed doubles and adjusting to like the change of pace and how much of the court you have to take over and things like that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really love my forehand drop and I like the slow game where I can
Yeah.
set people up for shots. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and then speed it up at net. Do you
Yes.
play singles too? You said you played 3-5 at the US Open. Do you think you'll continue to play singles as well in tournaments?
Yeah, I'm really I've been working on my singles game a little more. I haven't played in many tournaments where there's been singles opportunities, but at the Lakeville PPA recently, I played 4 to 4-5 and it was it was pretty difficult. But I really love singles even though it's pretty tiring at times. I'm excited to keep getting better at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you qualify? Like, I know obviously there's now the juniors tournaments too. Is that for your age level, or do you typically just play in like the regular, since you play with your mom and stuff for age brackets?
Yeah, so I am going to Kansas City in about 2 weeks and on Wednesday, I'm playing junior singles, girls singles,
Okay.
and that's ages 15 to 16. And I think they have like 13 to 14, so it goes by ages instead of levels. And
Okay.
that'll be my first one doing junior singles. Um, and I'm playing junior mixed in that one as well. So I'm excited to play because the US Open was my first time playing juniors.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm sure you'll dominate there. And going back, so do you still play for a tennis team?
yeah, I still play for the Forest Lake tennis team. I played varsity for the past couple of years and singles, and it's been so fun. I love that tennis team.
Wow, good for you. And so going back from tennis to pickleball, do you find it pretty easy or is it a little bit of an adjustment?
It's quite a bit of an adjustment for me. I like get the two confused, but after I've done it for a while, it like becomes more like flowy to me. But definitely at the beginning, it was pretty hard to adjust back and forth. Just because like
Yes.
the tennis swing is so much bigger, and like pickleball, you want it more compact. So I'll find myself like over swinging or trying to drop to the people at the net in tennis and then getting it crushed at me.
Yeah,
So
no, it's so funny. I had the same experience. Like I started playing just pickleball, not tennis, and then I went back and played tennis with my sister, and it looked like I like had never played. And now I more consistently go back and forth, and now it's been easier. Like it does definitely take like 5 to 10 minutes to readjust, I feel like in the beginning, but then I feel like, I can get my strokes down. And it's nice to still play both since I grew up, playing tennis.
yeah, yeah, my brother will still beat me whenever we play tennis, and I'll just whiff at the balls after playing pickleball.
Yes, no, I
Yeah.
know the feeling. And so, Volley, I mean, how did you even get started with pickleball?
Yeah, so up until I'd say like, oh, sorry. Up until like sixth grade, I like didn't play really any sports. And then COVID happened and I didn't really have anything to do. So I went and drilled with my brother and my mom for like an hour and a half during like every day in the winter at the Lifetime near our house. And then I joined the tennis team, and that kind of like helped the skills transfer. I saw my mom play her first tournament, and I had to try. And then I played with one of my tennis teammates in a really small, like 3-0 level, and I got second place. And I was like, I have to
Wow.
get gold in the next tournament. So my mom convinced me to go up to the tennis court, or there's like 7 pickleball courts by our house. And every morning it's packed with a bunch of people, and they're all adults. So I was kind of nervous at first, but eventually I started to bike up there, and it's like a couple minutes bike, and I would go up there every night and every morning during the summer, and I just like fell in love with pickleball. So,
Wow. And when was that first tournament that you played that you got silver?
I think it was last February that I played
Wow.
in that tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're still like relatively new to the sport too, and obviously doing so well. And then recently, even since I met you at the US Open, I feel like you've been playing a lot of tournaments, right? And also doing pretty well at them.
Yeah, there's a lot of local tournaments that are so fun. There's like picklers near where we live, like
Ah,
the new
okay.
facilities, and they're so nice. I really love those facilities. I played in a 4 or 5 plus tournament there recently, and we got gold a couple weeks ago, and that was so much fun. And
Wow.
yeah, there's just a lot of cool opportunities where I live and a lot of great players.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Volley lives in Minnesota. How big is pickleball over there?
it's very big. There's like a ton of lifetimes and like there's like this cool place called Pints and Paddles that's having a tournament soon, and there's over 900 players registered this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and yeah, it's bigger than the Kansas City PPA I'm going to in a couple of
Oh
weeks.
my
So,
gosh. Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
I'm so jealous. That's crazy to hear because we have yet to actually have in Nashville like a fully dedicated pickleball facility. There's some like opening up, but we're, going to tennis centers that have some lines at courts and or like apartment complexes. So it's just so crazy to hear like how much bigger it is other places like Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool. I like I and a lot of the indoor facilities are so nice too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so nice that you have a pickler too that just opened up. Do a lot of people in Minnesota, I guess, because well, obviously it gets really cold in the winter, but do people play indoors, outdoors, or kind of a mix of both?
Um, a lot of people play outdoors in the winters. There's like quite a
Huh?
few outdoor courts. But mainly like there's like usually lifetimes or or like the picklers or pints and paddles situation, like a bunch of cool indoor places that people go in the winter to play.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also saw that you were sponsored by Rich Cat Supply. Is that, tell me a little bit about Rich Cat Supply, and is that something your mom started?
Yeah, so about a little bit before I started playing pickleball, my mom started the company Rich Cat Supply. She's a 50 plus player and a coach, and she wanted to like get my brother and I into the sport and just like inspire kids and families to do it. So she wanted to make like cool, like um colorful paddles that would like make people like inspired to come out and try the sport.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rich Cat Supply is all about like living the rich life, like having like friends and family out on the court, like laughing, smiling, and part of like Rich Cat Supply is like giving back to the community. So every like 20 paddles that we sell, we'll give back to like the schools near us. And it's cool because some of them are like my elementary schools where I used to go, so I get to go teach some kids with our company paddles that we've made. So it's that's really what Rich Cat Supply is all about, I'd
I
say.
love that. That's such a great cause is like to give back. And I think I was actually on the website reading about the bio, and your mom was kind of talking about how there was such a barrier to entry for tennis because, it is an expensive sport. I feel like it's very technical. So you really do need kind of like golf to get at least quite a few lessons to get up and going. But
Yeah.
there really isn't that with pickleball. Like as long as you have a paddle, a ball, you can go out to a park, find a place to play and play with a lot more people.
Yeah, it's just so fun and such a great community. Like everyone's just so nice and welcoming.
Yeah, I love that. And I saw on Instagram too, you've been helping teach kids, how to play. What has that been like?
I I mean, I think my mom has helped me like coach and I coach community at tennis too. I love like coaching kids and it's like one of my passions that I love. It's
Yeah,
like so fun to see them grow and get a lot better.
and it's so cute when they like make that first serve or, that overhead. They get so excited.
Yes.
It's so cute to see.
Yeah, or their competitiveness against each other is really funny sometimes. Yeah.
That's so kids are ruthless. I love it. But it's
Yes.
the best. I mean, it's like start them young. That's when they're going to,
Yeah.
really dominate. They're fearless too, which is always funny to see out on the court. And, for someone young like yourself, I mean, would you like to see this sport, in high school? Would you like to see more kids your age playing it?
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's such an incredible sport, and I think that, like, I mean, it's still kind of like not found yet by like high schools and everything, but I think it would just like blow up if like people started to try it and like they liked it, and I think it could be a great high school sport.
Yeah, because I feel like that would then, build the foundation for college. So like, like every other sport they play, varsity high school and then go off to get recruited for college. So obviously a lot of, schools like UT Austin are embracing it at the club level, but it would be awesome to, see it become an NCAA sport too.
Yeah, I'd love for it to become a college sport. I'd love to go to college and be able to play pickleball. That would
I
be
know,
the
I was gonna say that's
dream.
probably something you'd love to do, which would be fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I mean, what are like some of your, I guess, short-term and long-term goals for pickleball?
Yeah, I mean, my long-term goal, I mean, it's to become a pro. I love going to the tournaments and just like feeling the energy of center court and like the electricity. Like, I mean, it's my passion, like, and I'd love to do that and go pro and just see how far I could take it.
Yeah, I love that. And just, I mean, we had a unique opportunity where, you got to meet Anna Lee, her mom, her dad, her grandpa was even
Yeah.
there, the whole family. What is it like to see someone, I mean, right around your age with obviously so much success in the sport? Is it cool to, meet those players, watch them play, and really learn from them?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I especially love watching Annalie Waters because she's someone so close to my age. So it like, I feel like I could do it because I see her out there like winning all these tournaments and being number one in the world as like a 17-year-old. And she has such a cool relationship with her mom. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I do when we play. Yeah, I love watching her play.
That is true. I didn't realize how like your relationships really parallel because it's like you're 15, she's 17. Her coach is obviously her mom. Her mom was also her partner, and that's literally the same situation. Your mom's your coach, also your partner. So Is that, would you say, is that the person you kind of look up to the most right now on the pro circuit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
she's also like so fiery too on the court.
Yes, I love her energy that she brings to the court.
Yeah,
Yeah, her
yeah.
matches are always so entertaining to watch.
I know, especially MLP too, where like she said she's able to, you're on a team, so you can kind of show that personality a little bit more too.
Yeah, I've loved watching MLP. I think that's one of like my favorites to watch. It's like so cool, like the team energy. Like when you win a point, you go and you like celebrate with your team. That's so fun.
Yes, I know. I would love, like, even locally, sometimes they do MLP events. I was like, I've actually never done one before. Have you played in one?
Yeah, I played in a couple with my mom, and we have gotten a few golds off of some MLP, which is I really love that format so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so fun. That is something I definitely want to do. And I know you said your mom, aunt, grandma plays. Do you guys all travel together or do they travel a little bit less than you and your mom do?
Yeah, so my grandma my grandma travels a little bit less than we do. I think like the US Open is where we would all come together.
Yeah.
Um, but my aunt and my mom and I, like my aunt lives in Virginia right now,
Okay.
and so it's kind of like hard to so we like to like meet in the middle for pickleball tournaments, and that's like our family vacation together for all of us. Um, yeah, like the US Open was a perfect example. Like we're like instead of going to like meeting up at one of our places, let's go have a pickleball tournament. So,
Exactly. In one of like
yeah.
the prettiest places too. That's like
Yeah.
something, yeah, I started that I think 2 years ago and like my family and friends here, we were like, we're just going to make this an annual trip because why not? It's literally so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so much fun.
And when you're not, I mean, obviously you're busy with school, pickleball. When you're not on the pickleball court, what are some of your hobbies off of it?
I'm really into theater and I love to songwrite. That's one of my
Oh,
biggest hobbies. Um, our family is really into biking. We like go on backpacking trips where we'll bike 50 miles one day and 50 miles another, and we'll like or mountain biking. Yeah. I mean, tennis is one of my bigger hobbies as well, but mainly those three.
wow, that's a great, I'm sure it's great cross training too, but that's an insane workout doing 50
Yeah.
miles just one way. Can you just hop on a bike and do that, or do you kind of work your way up to that?
I'll kind of work my way up to it. It was definitely pretty difficult the first couple times I did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's so fun to do with my family because we'll make like a day out of it. It's fun.
And in terms of songwriting, obviously I live literally a few blocks actually from Music Row.
Oh yeah.
What types of songs do you write and sing?
Um, I I like to write I don't know. I really like to write like more modern style country music. I'm not the biggest I'm not like that good at piano or guitar that much, but I'll mess around on it every once in a while and yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
yeah.
But good for you. It's good to have, I think sometimes people will like stop everything and just go 110% into something. But I feel like it's good to have like distractions and other outlets too. So you're not just, so you don't get like burnt out so quickly, also.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, songwriting
And yeah,
is oh yeah, songwriting is definitely something I can just go do in my room every once in a while that it like calms me down and yeah.
yeah. No, it's good to have that. And for cross training for pickleball, you said you and your mom have been, going to the gym more. What are some of the things that you've found that really help you that, come back and correlate back to the pickleball court?
Yeah, my mom and I we've really gotten into this like this sh name her name is Sydney Cummings. She has like a YouTube channel and we usually just put on one of her videos and they're like great like cardio strength training exercises that we can both do together like 40 minutes long or something and it's great to do right after you've had a long day of drilling
Yeah.
and
So is that
playing.
kind of like your schedule? Like how many days a week are you drilling? How many days are you doing the cross training or are you doing them all kind of in a day?
Yeah, we kind of just are we kind of have a routine that's sort of like we drill for like an hour and a half or so and then we'll go up and we'll do like maybe a 40-minute lift, and then maybe we'll have rec games later in the day, or kind of that pattern during the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and then
awesome.
weekends I usually have a lot of rec play that I like. So with
Yeah.
like local, yeah.
And yeah, no, that's awesome. It's always fun to like switch it up too. I feel like when you're always playing with the same people, it's like you know their strengths and weaknesses, and then you get to a tournament and you're playing people you've never played, and you're like, oh shoot, you forget what it's
Yes.
like to like talk strategy too. And then when you're traveling for tournaments, I guess what is like when your mom and you like step on a court, what is your routine? Do you watch them warm up? Do you play a few plays and then kind of figure out who's the weaker link, what their weaknesses are? I guess walk me through kind of what you guys do when you're actually playing a tournament.
Yeah, we usually have like a warm up, and then we'll play like usually some skinny singles if we have time, and we try to like talk a lot of strategy and like see what the other opponent's weaknesses are and like see what like how we can complement each other's shots like according to their game. And
Yeah.
yeah, we just usually try to strategize a lot right before the points or right before the
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
And what would you say, like, what is your role on the court versus like your mom's role on the court?
Yeah, so I really love to like set it up. I like my drops and my forehand rolls, and I like to set her up so that she can attack the ball. That's kind of
Yeah.
our like our strategy that we have for each other.
That's awesome. And who's the one? I guess there's always like the person that keeps everyone in check, like calls the timeouts, that kind of thing. Is that you or your mom usually?
I think it might be me. I like to
Okay.
like call timeouts and like strategize and like come to a certain like between points and like see what we need to do differently, but we're both pretty good at that too.
Yeah. I feel like that was like the hardest thing with pickleball because the games go by so quickly, especially if you are in kind of a consolation round, you're only playing one game to 15. It's just, it can quickly run away from you. And it's hard. Like, I've never been a timeout person, and I've found the value in timeouts when I started playing a lot more and just like you have to stop them if they gain momentum and you have to call it at the right time before they get, too far ahead of you. It's
Yeah.
just like these little things, right, that you don't really figure out until you start playing a lot.
Yeah, that definitely came to me after I started to play more tournaments, and I was like, "Oh, I can call timeouts, and maybe like it'll shift the momentum." But yeah, it's definitely something that I had to learn.
And like your character on the court, I feel like I could picture it. Are you pretty like cool, calm, and collected?
That's what my mom, she's like, "You always have a very straight like face on the court. Like I don't see you get like upset or too excited ever really." And I was like, I yeah, so I think that's kind of how I act on the court based on how she tells me I look like.
But
But
that's good,
sometimes I'm like,
Volly.
yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh no, we're down like 5-10. And then, but she says I don't show it. So I was like, oh, that's great.
No, that's awesome because that is one thing. Like, if I see one of my opponents getting super rattled, I'm like, I'll tell my partner, I'm like, target that person because, as soon as you get rattled, people tend to like blow up. And so it's good. Like, playing people like yourself is so much harder because it's like you're kind of, you then have to play yourself rather than like your opponent. It's easy to just like capitalize on that. But when your opponent's calm, it's like, oh shoot, like now I really got to win the game myself with the physical game rather than the mental game.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely something that's like like tennis has helped translate that part, like competing, like knowing, like being able to like read the emotions on other people's faces, like really a skill that it's not easy to learn, I feel like. Just yeah.
No, it's not, but it's also like so critical. Like you said, you've been reading the book, like the mindset. It's just mindset is everything. It really is. I feel like it's like 80, 90% of the game because you can just lose it just like that if you do lose your
Yeah.
mindset. So, it's so interesting to learn about that. And I've been trying to get more into it too because I feel like you said, it is a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like really excited to finish that book. I'm like halfway through right now. And I was like, this is already helping. I can't wait to go try and put it out on the court and see
I
how it
love
works.
that. I'll have to tell Dane that he loves hearing that stuff. So that's awesome. And it's nice to have like all my guests kind of, have that, when you have that common ground and you guys know each other or know of each other, it's always awesome to have that sense of community too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, well, Volley, it's been so great to get to know you more, learn about your story and how it's a whole, family affair, this whole journey. And obviously, an aspiring pro at just 15 years old is so inspiring. So I can't wait to continue following your journey. And thank you so much for joining us. And we'll stay tuned to see who joins us in the kitchen next time.